Ms. Maskey, I'm going to repeat some statistics you gave. According to Charlotte Logier Institute, pro-life pregnancy centers performed 486,000 free ultrasounds, 731,000 free pregnancy tests last year. 291,000 clients attended parenting and prenatal education classes, and 2,500 locations offer material assistance that babies need when a family can't support it. So can you tell us how you help pregnant women? And even more importantly, would there be a disparate impact on these communities if your centers weren't available?
Yes, Senator Grassley, thank you for the question. We give women free medical care, free parenting classes and baby supplies, free medical and emotional support after an abortion. Along with that, pregnancy care centers throughout the entire country give $266 million a year of free medical care and resources to the community nationwide. It is important to know that pregnancy centers often support women even after they've had an abortion. As a matter of fact, we had a 19-year-old young woman come into our clinic who did not want an abortion. She was forced to take the abortion pill by her parents. She testified to the fact that when she took the abortion pill, she was isolated in a bathroom all by herself. There was no support. There was no doctor there. There was no nurse there. There was no pain medication other than ibuprofen. And she testifies to physically going into labor on the floor, on the toilet, and in her bathroom. And at one point, she said she looked down, and what they told her was a clump of cells was a fully formed baby laying on the floor. Devastated, she claims she picked that baby up and carried it around, put it in a plastic bag, and several weeks later, took it to a memorial and buried it. This is not healthcare. A woman alone, by herself, in a bathroom, experiencing tremendous pain and seeing the effects of it. A young woman who has an abortion at an abortion clinic never has to drive by that abortion clinic ever again. But a young woman who goes into labor on the floor in her bathroom and physically sees everything that comes out of her and experiences the pain in the midst of that moment has to wake up every single morning and relive that experience. Again, this is not healthcare.
Ms. Harley, whether it's an unelected court or the thinnest possible margins in Congress, we need to respect our institutions and their limitations. The Supreme Court shouldn't be taking power away from legislatures to make national policy from the bench. Neither should the filibuster be destroyed to enact a bill that allows abortion until birth, a policy 8 in 10 Americans reject. So to you, what are the constitutional and practical problems with the various proposals that we've seen to enshrine abortion at the federal level?
Well, there are a couple of problems. As a constitutional matter, Congress does not have the authority in its constitutional powers to impose a national abortion regime upon the states. You can't find that in the Commerce Clause. You can't find that anywhere in Congress's powers. That would be a gross overreach and would trample on principles of federalism. As a policy matter, it's also problematic. The example that I'm aware of, the current so-called Women's Health Protection Act, which has a nice name, but if you read it, is actually an abortion on demand through all 9 months of pregnancy bill. That as a policy it's horrific. It's completely out of step with what the American people want. Americans are overwhelmingly opposed to abortion on demand up to the moment of birth. And the Women's Health Protection Act would actually allow a baby to be dismembered, torn apart limb from limb just before entering the birth canal for any reason whatsoever or no reason at all. It would also overturn hundreds of state laws that are modest and common sense and that protect life. So as a constitutional matter, I don't think a congressional attempt to mandate abortion would be upheld in court. And as a policy matter, it's a horrific idea, and I think we should be embarrassed that the United States is even considering something like that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.